Today's scenario is scenario number 7 from the SR 2015 pack, Outflank. Has two 12-inch diameter zones along the center line. There's no kill box. Each player receives 1 control point for controlling a zone and 2 control points for dominating a zone, for a total of 3 points available in a turn. The first to 5 wins. Fortnby here. I'm going to be running E-Haley this time. She's going to be pushing a Squire and a Stormclad and Thorn. Stormclad hits hard. Thorn gives me a fairly safe arc node that can do some work on his own. Also, both of those have reach. They're going to be able to engage the enemy whenever I'm feeding to keep them from shooting at me. Jakes is running a Stormclad also. Got a full-blown unit of Stormblades. Journeyman Warcaster to drop Arcane Shield mainly on the Stormblades as they approach under Haley's deceleration. Got Anastasia for what Anastasia does best, as well as Gorman for what Gorman does best. The Ragman's dropping armor, and Rupert's going to tough up my Stormblades so they should get into combat. I have an Effigy of Valor as my objective. That's going to keep my Stormblades from breaking if they don't have Tough and Fearless up, and to give Haley cover in the corner of that zone while she does her thing.
So this week my opponent is bringing Cygnar. More specifically, he's playing his E-Haley list. So looking over my 2 list, I decided to go with e-Sorscha. She brings a lot of shooting to the table, so during the feed turn I can just sacrifice my movement and still get some shots out. It's going to mean that I'm going to have to play pretty aggressive on the zones in my first turn though. I also brings me Aiyana for the armor debuff and Eiryss to knock off Arcane Shield where needed. So it's really just kind of a scenario where I think I'm going to have to weather the feat and then make sure that I don't give him the scenario too early, and then hopefully I can pop my feet and go for an assassination or kill his heavies, taking effigy to make sure that I don't run for any break check.
Anastasia won the role for me to go first. Got 2 big pie plates across the center of the table, a couple of hills, a couple of forests, and a couple of linear obstacles. Got a pond there at the very bottom of the map. It's hard to see. I'm just going to line up straight forward. I'm going to put Jakes' Centurion kind of in the middle, or sorry, her Stormclad. I'm going to put Thorn on my left and just go right over the top of that hill straight at him. Once I get there and feed, then I'm going to spread out and clear whatever is in both of those 2 zones to try to get points, try to get maximized points, 3 points for the zone in my turn for the 2 zones. He's got a lot of infantry, so I may not be able to clear all of them, but her feat just buys me so much time, and with Anastasia on top of that, it's just going to be rough for him to do anything.
So I have to admit that my thought process when I saw my opponent, Fortnby, which is one of the stronger opponents in our meta, and that he was dropping E-Haley, I was definitely really doubting how I was going to be able to pull this one out. The board presence, even kind of the mission that I'm going with, is one that E-Haley can play really strongly into. So I think assassination is going to be my game. I flank myself with 2 units that I can increase with high defense so I can jam the zone and hopefully stall her on scoring on scenario, and then have my central mass be my killing potential with Beast. For my advanced deploys, I decided to put, originally I was going to put my Widowmakers on the hill for elevation bonus, but I think I'm going to actually shift them over to the forest. That way, if I'm given the opportunity, I may just bunker down in the forest for camo and shoot away. And then, of course, the other ones just take a position behind the wall or stealth.
He's got a high defense infantry on both of his flanks and the hard inner core in the center there. With that in mind, I'm just going to run my army as far forward as I can. Haley's going to put up deceleration. Move Thorn up here and then angle him so that when I run Jake's Stormclad up, he's going to be able to TK And I'll get the advanced Thorn 3 and then TK the Jack 2 more. Gives me a little bit of extra threat. So there goes Jake. She energized for 1. Put her defense spell on the Stormclad to give him plus defense. Can't be knocked down or moved by a slam. Jake's went up behind the wall. Now Haley's Stormclad runs. They both got to run essentially for free because they started their activation close enough to the Stormblades that they got free focus. Haley now does her TK of the Stormclad and free move with Thorn. She's going to put up Deceleration and then TK herself, leaving her on nothing. As I didn't play anything from the Squire on first turn, I'm going to save that for later. The Stormblades are all going to run up, just taking the center of the field there and make sure that they're close enough that the Stormclads are going to get their free focus again next turn, if they need it for whatever purpose. The wall is kind of a problem because I don't really want to use Rupert to give them Pathfinder to get them over the wall. I guess it's not that big a deal. I can avoid the wall with most of them. Rupert goes up, gives them Tough, and the Journeyman goes up and gives the Stormblades Arcane Shield. Then Ragman and Anastasia both run, as well as Gorman.
Khador, turn 1. So my opponent going first due to Anastasia Di Bray, I can't discredit it enough. It's super powerful for E. Haley to go first. In this scenario, if I don't actually get into the zone and contest, it's entirely possible that she can set it up where she telekinesis herself past the wall and then charges one of her own models to get up the field, pops feet, and then basically shuts me out of the zone so she can score 3 points. So I've got to make sure that I get things into the zone in such a way that I'm going to be getting my giving enough high defense targets that it's going to jam her out of the zone. The one to the bottom of the screen is probably the one that she's going to have the easiest time getting into. So that's the one that I want to make sure that I put in. So I tow in some of the Widowmakers and then set them up. I don't want to tow all of them into the zone because I don't want to hand him all of my snipers, but I tow in 2 into the zone and then I shoot with 2 to try and knock out some damage onto the columns where Thorn's Cortex is, and then I just start running the Nyss Hunters. Their high defense will also help, and then they'll also give me some counter punch to anything that gets in the zone. If he doesn't commit to the zone, I'll shoot them. If he does commit to the zone, I'll charge them with Weapon Masters. So a lot of the activations for the central area is just timing on getting all of the support staff, Sylys, Orin Midwinter, Holt, Lady Aiyana, Master Holt, all these pieces into the proper place. Kell Bailoch runs over the woods. I just want to make sure that I have one of my sniper elements over there. I actually, now that on hindsight, I probably could have put him into the zone with the other snipers, and then attempted to make a push to go shoot out Jakes. I can do enough damage to her with my snipers that if I kill her out, then I actually take one of the Stormclads off of the table, or at least to the point where Haley has to go and reactivate it. Everything's else is just kind of running up, putting themselves behind the wall, or either stealthing themselves for Lady Aiyana, Master Holt, and just getting ready. And then I'm going to run I contemplated about running them straight up into the zone, or doing a bob and weave. Unfortunately, if I bob and weave, I can't give them the run order. If I run, then they're going to be a lot lower defense and potentially easier to kill. So I decide to just go for the run. They're not going to have as high of a defense, but they do have Iron Flesh from Eiryss on them, so they're going to have a bit of a defense buff, and then I'll just put Tough on them from Jozef Grigorovich, and then the hill, and pray.
Well, this turn's going to be a feat turn. With that in mind, I'm going to pass out a couple of focus to my 2 Stormclads. Not going to put any focus on Thorn. He's got enough room to just walk over there and do what he needs to do. I'm going to try to engage all the stuff that he has in the bottom zone there, with reach off Thorn and reach off the Stormclad, and then try to get as many Stormblades into the face of those Winter Guard in the top zone as I can. And then set up Anastasia and the rest of my support for a next turn brutal turn. I'm going to have Haley and a bunch of the Stormblades on top of that hill ready to do some dirt on their follow-up turn. The Stormclad charges that infantry right there, and I forgot about the Electro Leaps. My opponent picked up his pieces kind of before he should have, but I didn't warn him about them. So now we're doing the Electro Leap on that back guy and realize we screwed it all up. So we put the guys back and redo it and do it properly. It ends up the same result, but it was arrived at a little differently. I'm going to do the Stormblades next. I'm just going to assault as much stuff as I can. Their rat of 5 is very difficult to hit these high defense guys on hills, bobbing and weaving, and then are behind walls. So I'm just hoping for a little dice spike here or there, maybe to take out 1 or 2 guys. I won't be surprised if I don't take out any though. We're going to set up for the next turns, charging over the top of this hill. Could be good, could be bad. It really depends on what the Winter Guard do. I'm not going to be able to engage all of them to keep them from shooting back at me, but I'm going to have such a high armor and a good defense that he's going to have a tough time hitting them. And even when he hits them, trying to hurt armor 20 with these range attacks he has is not going to work out so well. Yeah, I didn't get anything at all with all the Stormblades. This Stormclad is going to go in and try to take out at least 1 guy. He might get 2. I don't think the Electro Leap's going to work out as I think, or as I hope. Yeah, he gets 1 guy, measuring to see who he gets. I think he gets that guy. My opponent thinks he gets the other guy, so I'll go with my opponent. Get both of them. One of them fails a tough check, one of them makes a tough check. So when I feed the tough check guys, he's not going to do anything at all because he has sacrifice to stand up and sacrifice to the feet. And he has only 2 things to sacrifice. Haley's going to TK the Ironclad again with Tharn, and then Tharn is going to move 3 inches into the midst of those guys over there and try to engage as many of them as he can to keep them from shooting at the rest of my army and at Tharn. And put up deceleration, I guess. I wish that I had the ability to time bomb over there because I could have cleared that zone, I think. But I want to make sure that I keep deceleration up. That's important for as much shooting as my opponent has. If he were to counterfeit and shoot Haley up with all those Winter Guard, he might actually do enough to her because of his feats doubling the damage past armor. That I don't want to take the chance of losing Haley 2 like I lost Haley 1. So with that in mind, Gorman's going to come up and cloud Haley and everything else in there. And then all my little support pieces that can get to it are going to go hide in that little clump behind and on the hill. Energizer the Stormclad up 1 with Jakes just to get him a little bit much further into the enemy infantry over there to keep them from shooting at me. Those Widowmakers actually kind of hurt when they shoot, so I don't really want them shooting at my support for sure. Anastasia's moving to get a bead on e-Sorscha for next turn. And that's my turn. My feat catches pretty much his entire army.
Khador, turn 2. So my entire army is in his feet, which sucks. But If you've never experienced the E-Haley feed turn, imagine having your army in front of you. You really can't do much with it, and to add insult to injury, your opponent is actually going to be playing your army, because he's going to determine the order that you're going to be kicking off the elements. So I get to do things like determine my, what upkeeps I'm going to keep up, and if I'm going to put focus out on anything. The biggest concern I have right now is that there's a Stormclad just inches away from Sorscha, and that is definitely a concern, because if given the opportunity, he will more than likely take the ability to telekinesis up to get a nice charge lane and just smash her face in super hard. So the first unit that he allowed me to activate was the Winter Guard, and the very first thing I did was I saw that one of the Winter Guard actually had what looked like a potential to spray one of the Stormblades, but potentially clip Anastasia Di Bray, and she is as important to kill as E-Haley is, because under E-Haley's control with telekinesis and such, she has the ability to be telekinesis up and then get into range where she can basically give the E-Haley player 2 turns. So against this list, I'm basically playing where I will get a turn, and Fortnby will get 2 turns for every one of my turn, unless I can kill Anastasia Di Bray. It's one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to spread out, so that way I would potentially force him to have to spread out to meet me. So things like Thorn will be out of the Anastasia's abilities, or anything that's in the zone. Unfortunately, wise he is, he does not have. He's not spread out as much. He stayed relatively central, putting enough pieces into the various zones to put plays on them without necessarily ignoring my things. I will take the advantage of trying to run some of my Nyss and some of my snipers around Thorn, to force control of that zone on the farthest tip away from the Cygnar line, and potentially deny that zone, but also because I'm still got my eyes set on going after Jakes. And if I can put some sniper damage into Jakes, then that would be great. The other thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to get away from that Stormclad, because I have plans to potentially lock him out for a turn. So Beast 09 activates, and basically I'm just pushing him up. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done this. I really kind of handed him Beast 09 on a silver platter. He's sitting out there unsupported, and I probably could have or should have kept him back, so that way he would have gotten charges off me, but I wouldn't have opened a lane straight up to Sorscha, as well as I wouldn't have given him the ability to get a lot of Stormblades on Beast 09. The rest of my group is activating. They're kind of condensing down, looking for cover behind the wall, or looking to position themselves to go over to the other zone. I've kind of given my snipers the coverage of the lower zone, and I'm going to use the rest of my army to potentially clear the upper zone. So I've activated Sorscha, and I have put Freezing Grip onto the Stormclad, so that he is not going to get an activation this turn, to keep Sorscha safe. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to run Holt up.
Well, this is the make or break turn. I should be able to pick up at least 2 control points this turn, maybe 3 if I get lucky. I'm going to clear the zone with the Winter Guard in it. I don't think they can stand. They're barring just incredible tough rolls. He's got enough guys. You can't really see. He's got 2 more guys in the very bottom of the board on the edge of that circle, the bottom zone there on the pond, kind of. I don't think I can get them, but I can get just about everything else out of that bottom zone. His Jack I'm going to kill, and I'm going to try to engage his caster and everything on the other side of that wall. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of plotting and planning, asking a few questions. I screwed up, and I don't think Jakes is in range to be able to allocate focus to her Jack, and that's going to be a problem. But he's going to get 1 free focus just from that Stormblade that's going to be next to him when I activate them. Stormblades are going to go and clear that zone, that top zone, as best they can. I think Anastasia, when I measure my control area, Anastasia's in range to get an espionage off on e-Sorscha, so I'm planning on her being in range there. I just have to make sure I don't screw it up and move something in her way and block her path. I should be able to get 3, maybe 4 Stormblades charging his Jack, and that's enough to put some serious hurt on it. I should have activated Ragman first to get that armor debuff. If I'd gotten the armor debuff first, I don't think his Jack would survive 4 Stormblades at essentially power strength 17, because the leader is within 5 of all of them. If their rat was any better, they would be really dangerous. That the 3-inch AOE, because of the UA, makes it very, very scary to clump your infantry up around these guys. They're doing a good job. They're taking out the hard to hit one of those Winter Guard. Even with the Winter Guard having such a high defense, they're mat 7s, so they're likely to hit them 40% of the time when their defense 14. 15. So I'm getting some good rolls and some average rolls on his Jack there, but I've done enough to the Jack that he doesn't have a lot left. I think his movement and his weapon is out. So it should make him easy pickings for the Jacks to take care of. Or if Anastasia does what I think she's going to be able to do, the Stormblades that are on him should be able to finish him off with their extra move. I'm going to run Haley over here, or charge Haley onto him, just to put a little bit of extra damage on him. TK that Jack out of the way. I kind of screwed up and blocked him in a little bit with the Stormblades. Haley hits him for essentially nothing, because again I forgot to move the Ragman up. He's just kind of sitting on that hill. He must like that spot there. Probably found a nice little view watching the pond, a few ducks landing on the pond or something. I don't know. He doesn't seem the harmonious nature kind of guy, so maybe not. He's probably plotting who to kill next. Drop a time bomb in the midst of all those guys through Thorn, and I think about moving Thorn out, but I don't know. This has to be done before the time bomb resolves, so I'm not going to take any free strikes with him. I'm just going to kill whatever I can. Thorn gets hit by the time bomb as well, which is not so good for him, but there's not enough stuff over there to really hurt him when I'm done with them all. Checking some lines of sight to see what my Jack can do. He gets a free focus, bringing him up to 3 for being next to the Stormblades. He's just going to walk into the midst of all this, 2 to there. I'm going to give his Jack a free strike. He's only rolling 1 die to hit and 1 die damage. I can live with that. He rolled 2, but he should only roll 1. Oh, there he goes. He does roll the 1 and gets a 1, so he misses. Then I get into the midst, engaging his caster and whatever that is on the other side of his caster there. I think it's Orin Midwinter, but I'm not sure. Can't hit his caster, though, even boosting. I guess I should have put deceleration up instead of time bombing all those guys. I don't know. Or time bomb her, maybe. I guess Gorman's going to have to go up and try to black oil Eiryss. He's going to get 2 shots into there because of Anastasia, so that should work out for him. There we go. I finally remember to move Ragman up. Do his death field. That's going to help out finishing off that Jack. There goes Gorman. He's going to take a shot at Stealthy. Eiryss. My Jack, I don't really care if I hit my Jack, and that's about the only one I can hit that's mine. The Jack can't hit his caster over the wall, but if I get lucky, and I did, it drifted exactly perfect. Direction 6 and landed on like 3 or 4 of those models back there. Sorscha and Aiyana and Holt. So that worked out pretty good. I still got to get I got to take care of Eiryss somehow. Anastasia may get froggy and walk up there and jump over the wall with her espionage move. And move both of my journeymen over there to maybe get some extra damage in during Anastasia's espionage move. Just trying to get everybody activated so that I get the maximum benefit from Anastasia. There goes Thorn. He's not going to be able to do anything. He's -2 speed, so he only gets to go 4. He's not going to be able to do any Anastasia moving, so he's just going to try to kill a couple more of those guys. I think that broke the the hell are those called? Sylena and those dudes, the Nyss. But I'm not sure. I can't remember. Here goes Anastasia. She gets within. So now everybody gets to activate. It's essentially a time walk, and it's just devastating when you get to do that. I can't do any more damage to the bottom zone because I really can't hit anything. I can't clear the 3 or 4 models that are still in there. You can see 1 next to Thorn, and there's 2 down in that little pond. Maybe 3, I don't remember. There was at least 2 down there. So I'm just going to use the Journeyman. I'm going to try to keep him safe so that I don't lose a Stormclad next turn. I'm going to move this guy and can't decide whether I want him to attack Sorscha. She's easy to hit now, but of course he misses. Needed like a 6, I think, or a 7. He rolled a 5 or a 3. Actually, I swung at his Jack. That's right. I swung at the Jack, trying to take it down the rest of the way. Anastasia goes in, can't hit Eiryss. Going to move the Stormblades now to try to finish off that Jack. They should be able to do it. He only has 3 or 4 hit points left, I think. And with the Ragman and their POW 15s, they should be able to take him out pretty easy. I've got 3 tough Winter Guard that I got to get out of the zone, and I can dominate that zone with Haley whenever I take her Anastasia move. And it looks like I get them. There's 1 more guy left in there, I believe. No, that's a Stormblade. So the zone is clear. All I got to do now is get Haley into the zone, and she can do that with Anastasia's free move. Those guys, of course, with the first hit takes the rest of that Jack off. So it's looking good. I'm liking the way that the thing is progressing. The list is doing what it needs to do. Journeyman is going to go over there and poke whatever that is and can't hurt him. I think that's the Widowmaker solo dude. He misses. And Jakes is going to go back and hide on the hill. She doesn't quite want to die yet. Rhupert, I guess I'll just move him forward, get him into the fray. He's kind of done his thing. I don't really need him that much anymore. And now I'm going to get Haley on the hill, toeing the zone for the 2 points at the end of the turn. Just going to keep jamming up his stuff. He hasn't feeded yet, so putting Haley over there is a little dangerous with all those Winter Guard. But I blocked the line of sight to her with the Stormblades on the hill and the Squire. Let's see what his turn.
Khador, turn 3. So my opponent's got 2 control points. He has an extremely dominating presence on my end of the zone, and I lost Beast 09, and I've got a Jack engaging my caster. Seems bad, but I have hope, and I think I actually see an opportunity for me to win this game. I've got several units that have the capacity to shoot, and I still have my feet available to me. So it's not a case of needing a lot of shots to get through. I just need several of the shots, we'll say 2 or 3 of them, to get through and do quality damage rolls. Underneath the feed turn, with her not having any focus, I have a good chance of each shot putting into anywhere from 5 to 6 points of damage. And on a 15-box caster, that's not too terribly hard. She's on a hill, which will be a problem. But I think that I might actually have a chance of pulling this off. So there's a couple things that have to come into play. My caster has black oil on me, so I don't get to move and get my action at the same time. But I do have the choice between a move or action, and I still have my spells available to me. So there's a lot of potential for me to use Cyclone to subsidize a movement, since I don't have a movement and action, and then still get an action out of it. Not to mention I can use it to get myself out of engagement with the Jack. That being said, I need to make sure that she'll be able to survive a free strike from a Stormclad, so there's a lot of issues there. With needing to address some defense issues to make sure that when the Stormclad takes a free strike, he's not actually going to kill me, because that would suck. So going through some thoughts here, trying to figure out how I'm going to get Sorscha over. I turn around and have Reinhold put up Lucky Charm. And this is going to be a lot of just trying to figure things out. So I apologize, you won't see much movement going on, but it's one of those situations where when you only have one game plan, you have to make that game plan work, and it takes time to think about it. And since I'm on such a back foot already with this scenario, I'm kind of going into this round going, this is my last chance. So I go ahead and activate Cyclone. I move myself out just enough to trigger the free strike, which is not enough to actually hit me. And then I take the rest of the Cyclone to advance me around. And I'm still not quite within range to get her. So I'm going to have to sacrifice my action to get myself some movement to get her into range of the feet. Because this is really going to have to rely on me getting the feet off. So I take my move, sacrifice my action, take my movement. Make sure I'm in control, pop feet. So now any damage that I manage to get on her, I'll be able to actually use to potentially kill her. I kind of run through some of my support staff. It would be amazing if I could get Lady Aiyana up there or get her free so that she could potentially curse, but it's one of those situations where she's too far back. She's black oiled, so she's kind of out of the engagement. So I used Eiryss to try and kill Anastasia to prevent him from getting yet another turn next turn, but unfortunately I don't manage to pull it off due to her high defense. And then here we're going into Kell Bailoch. Now Kell Bailoch has the ability to get 2 shots if he stands still. The problem is that it's not quite clear if the single sliver of a line that I can trace between the storm blades allows me to also see past the squire. So we call in a non-partial to use the laser line, and it's one of those situations where the way the squire is sitting on the hill, the squire's model actually leans over to the right farther than his base does. So that's where the confusion lies with the trying to figure it out. So we do a little bit of adjusting to get the squire to stand up straight, trying to see if that line is there, and the final verdict on it is that the squire is blocking that sliver of a line. So unfortunately Kell Bailoch is going to have to take one of his shots to shoot at the squire, who, I mean, he's under the feet as well, so it's a one shot here, but I really would have liked to have gotten 2 shots on her. So Kell manages to take his second shot, shooting E. Haley on the hill, and I do manage to hit her and do 4 points of damage with the shot. It was I only did 2 points of damage, but it goes up to 4 because it's 2 over the armor. I was hoping for slightly higher, but again, we're going into this situation realizing that I'm not going to be able to do it with a single shot, but that if I can get multiple shots, then I can. The other thing that I have available to me is my Rocketeers in the Winter Guard. One of the Rocketeers was not engaged, so I had the ability to flank him around. There's another slug shot over with the Rocketeer, and it's, I don't know, it's one of those situations where everything else is either engaged or won't be able to draw line of sight to her, or doesn't have enough rat in order to pull it off. So I activate and I try and clear off some of the other already engaged Iron Fang pikemans in hope of getting some shots there, but I'm not going to be able to unengage them in order to get the additional shots. So the weight of the match is really going to fall on the shoulders of that one Iron Fang Rocketeer. I did not do tough. I rolled for, or I had Kovnik put up the For the Motherland, so I got the 3 dice. Because of Haley's defense in the hill, that Rocketeer is really going to need it. And the other slug gun, the other spray guy that's standing next to him isn't going to have range to do it. So I was really kind of actually hoping that some of these sprays was going to free up 1 or 2 of the closer to Haley infantry, or the Winter Guard, but it didn't pan out for me. Now, ideally, I'm looking at a situation where Haley has no focus on her, and the Rocketeer is doing dice damage, I believe, which means even if I only get this one shot off of the Rocketeer, all I need to do is roll a 6, and I kill her. If I roll a 6, goes up to 12, which is 1 point more than I actually need to kill her, but I could theoretically do it. And when you're looking for dice averages, you're usually comfortable at 5. I know a lot of people say statistical is 7. That's actually kind of a fallacy. You're looking closer to 5s than you are to 7s. 7 may be what the statistical average is, but it's not what you should be aiming for when you're looking for dice. Unfortunately, when I did roll for the Rocketeer, he missed. I didn't even manage to hit, so... killing Haley is off the table. So I go for the next best thing, kill Jakes. Because again, if I can shut down a Stormclad, probably... I misplayed last turn. I would have liked to have actually used Eiryss to disrupt the other Jack and freeze and grip the first one. Or at least maybe in this turn I could have freeze and gripped and disrupted to shut those 2 Jacks down, but it didn't pan out.
Okay, looks like I've got 7 models to clear out for the win. I got 3 in the top zone and 4 in the bottom zone. I think I should be able to do it as long as that Thorn is in Haley's command or control. I think he is, but I forgot to measure it last turn when I moved her. I may have moved her a little too far. It's going to be very close. So here we go. The Stormblades are going to go do their thing. They're going to just get an advance order. They can get where they need to go just advancing. Haley's going to have to get a little dirty herself and take out those, at least one of those guys up top probably. These guys can't quite reach, so they're just going to have to shoot. That's not good. But the plan that I'm thinking is I'm going to get to activate them all again with Anastasia, who lived in the middle of his army for some reason. Black oil had a lot to do with that. Everything that could hit her had black oil on it. So these guys are going in. The ones that I'm moving there are not really necessary to move, but why not move them? I hit the guy, kill him. The blast damage didn't hurt the other guy. And then kind of got to ponder how to do this. I think Jakes is going to energize her, the Stormclad, to get him facing the right way. I'm going to finish up with the Stormblades though in the middle here. if I can get more to shoot, might as well do it. Who knows what I'm going to be needing up at the top there. There's 2 models in the top zone and 4 models in the bottom zone that I need to clear out to gain the 5 points that I need to make, or the 3 points I need to make a total of 5. They're doing a good job. They did what they needed to do. They cleared out enough stuff that it was worth it. So here goes. Jake's going to energize her for 1. It's just mainly to get her stuff turned around so that they can charge so that she can charge the 2 models down south there. Now it's going to be tough hitting them, but she can boost both to hit rolls, and that should on average dice get them. Yeah, I got him. That's 1 dead. Now her second attack she's gonna boost. That gets him 2, kills him. So I've got 2 models to clear out in the bottom zone and 2 models to clear out in the top zone, and the game is over. Stormclad's gonna go. At first I decided to move him and to take out just 1 model, which was silly. Why not just use my reach attack on the 4 model and my close attack on the other model? And it turns out not mattering. It's too hard to hit those defense 15 dudes. You need 8s to hit them, so it's not that likely. Tharn goes, hits and kills 1, misses the other. Now I've got 1 model in the south, and I can drop a time bomb on him, so that should get him. And then I've got 2 models up top there. Oops, Haley fell over. Hope I didn't move her. I don't think I did. Yeah, I measured it and he's in. Just barely. So the time bomb gets him. She's going to charge this other guy. She gets him. There's 1 model left to clear out, and that should be done by Anastasia. She missed. She buys an attack and kills him. Now it's Anastasia for the win. She's going to move over to make sure she gets... I'm going to try to get Haley in case I need Haley to go over there and finish that last guy off too. But she's going to get the Stormblaze. There's no chance she doesn't get the Stormblaze. There was just 1 sitting right behind her. So I'm going to put 4 guys on that 1 dude. And first guy hits him, kills him. Oh wait, no, I'm rolling on guys that are outside the zone. I don't know why I'm bothering. Yeah, he got him. So that's it. We're talking about it now. That's a good game. Haley does what Haley does best. See you guys next time. Bye.